Something in the carburetor went gunny bag and Hey guys, Dan with Kane Custom Garage. Hey guys, Dan with Kane Custom Garage. And today I wanted to do a little history of the IEL Pioneer chainsaws. I've been having fun dragging out the different chainsaws that I have quite a few of, and it's pretty interesting seeing them. Hey guys, Dan with Kane Custom Garage, and today I want to show you these IEL Pioneer chainsaws that I got behind me. I think they're really neat old saws, and the story behind the company is sort of interesting too. So I got a few of them, or I got them all out, and a few of them didn't want to cooperate, but I got a couple of them running for you at least. A lot of these aren't running saws, but I thought I'd go over the history and just show you the progression of all the IEL Pioneer chainsaw models. So let's check it out. Okay guys, let's take a look at my Pioneer chainsaw collection. As you can see, my Pioneer shelf is all cleared out, and here they all are in various configurations, and I lined them all up in chronological order here. And so I've got a pretty good representation of the history of the Pioneer chainsaws. There's a few missing. Okay guys, before I get started on the saws that I have, I just wanted to interject that, you know, IEL made two-man saws before this, and they actually had a gear drive saw before this that they used. And so it's not like these were the first ones they were made. These are just the ones that I have. But yeah, they had two-man saws and some gear drive saws before this, before they got into the direct drive stuff. So I just wanted to clarify that. So anyways, back to the video. But it's a pretty good span over the years here, so let's start with the first one. And then yeah, this is what their sign looked like. This is one of those fake old looking signs. It's not real, but it looks cool. I wish I had a real one. That'd be cool. And so yeah, so the first saw we got here, and the earliest one, so this is the Pioneer HB. And all these Pioneer saws, the model number's right on the front here, the earlier ones anyways, if you can see that. And so yeah, this is the HB. This is the first direct drive chainsaw pretty much on the market. Before that, you know, all the chainsaws were gear drive, and they were big and heavy, and this was the first direct drive chainsaw that a manufacturer came out with. And this one was interesting because this was before they came out with diaphragm carburetors, and so it's a float style carburetor. And so the only way they could make that work was they had to have the fuel tank and the gas, or the fuel tank and the carburetor had to pivot, because it has to stay upright for it to work. And so when you're bucking logs, you keep it in this position, and then when you wanted to fell a tree, you had to come back here and pull this lever, and then see, you could turn the carburetor and the fuel tank so that you could have it upright like this, and then you could fell your tree. See, like this. That's pretty interesting, huh? That's how they did it on the old, back in the day, before they had the diaphragm carburetors. But yeah, so this one's a 1953, I think they made these. Let me see, let me check my notes. Yeah, 51 to 53 basically. This one's an HB, and then the one before it was an HA, which is basically, the HA came out and it was red, and then they quickly switched to the HB, which was sort of an upgraded version, I guess. So yeah, and it had this thing had the big 1/2-inch chain on it. Where'd my tape measure go? Here it is. But yeah, here's some little trinkets. This is what the clutch looked like in them. It had some friction material on it, sort of like brake shoes. And so that's what the clutch looks like. That's a nice one, hardly been used. And then I found some, this is sort of cool. This is like a bag of chain pieces. Has the cool Pioneer logo on there, IEL Pioneer. Chain stuff. But anyways, this thing had the 1/2-inch chain on it, and I'm sure you guys know this, but the way you measure your chain is you measure between every third rivet you measure. So from the first rivet to the third rivet, it's 1 inch basically, and then you divide that in half, which makes this 1/2-inch chain. See that? So yeah, I had the big old 1/2-inch chain. And these direct drive chainsaws, these were sort of the first high-speed chainsaws. Everything before that was gear drive, like I was saying, and so guys could use these to do limbing and everything because of the higher chain speed. With the gear drive saws, they couldn't really do limbing or anything because the chain speed was so slow that it would just get hung up in the branches and stuff. And I guess they actually outlawed it. They outlawed limbing with chainsaws before they came out with the direct drive, just because it was so dangerous. But then the chain speed came up, and they were able to do that, use them for limbing and everything. So they had the HB, and that was a good seller. And then, oh, and these are 85 cc's, I believe. And then I don't have one, but this is the HM, which came after that. This was the one that they started using the diaphragm carburetors on, and so they didn't have to have that swivel thing on the end, and so it sort of just evolved from the swivel type chainsaw to the one where you don't have to do that because it has the diaphragm carburetor. And then the next one in the progression was the HC, which is this guy here, and this one actually runs. So this is the HC, and it was made from like 55 to 56, I think. 56 to 57, I guess. And it was direct drive, diaphragm carburetor. Pretty cool saw, 404 chain on these. And this one has a cool roller nose. And so yeah, this one runs too. I actually have a video of this one running. I'll put a link to it above here if you want to see that, and we'll get it running in this video. This one doesn't run. Oh, that's what I was going to show you on this one. So sometimes when you get these old chainsaws, and I found quite a few like this, you know, you go to check it out, say it's at an estate sale or a yard sale or something, and you go to pull it over and look, it's locked up, won't move, and you're like, oh, that one's junk. But actually, a lot of times on these old chainsaws, when they sit so long, the rewind gets froze up in them. It just gets corroded and froze up. And so this one, the engine actually turns over, see? So yeah, see, the engine turns over. So the engine's fine in this. It's just the recoil that's froze up. And so this one needs a little love. I haven't got it running yet. See, the handle's broke. This part's broken, but I got another handle right here to put on it. And so yeah, that's something to look for. If you see a saw that's locked up, don't just assume it's the motor. It's, you know, sometimes it's just the rewind that's froze up in it. So there's that guy. So yeah, so we had this one from 51 to 53, and then this one from 56 to 57. The HM was from basically like 54 to 55 or something like that. And then, oh, and then this is sort of interesting. I found this on eBay. This is actually a motor for an HC that somebody took and made some kind of funky. It says Diamond Experimental on it. See that? somebody made some kind of funky experimental engine and polished it all up, and somebody put a lot of work into it. They flipped the cylinder around so that the exhaust and the carburetor are both on the same side. And see, they got this funky looking a cool looking exhaust pipe that they cut down. Looks like they knurled the piston. You see that in there? I haven't got this running. It'd be sort of cool to get it running someday. But yeah, somebody put a lot of work into this thing. They got it all polished up and stuff. And I actually used the polished starter off of it for this. See, that looks sort of cool. But yeah, this old HC I got from a logger here in town. So yeah, that's cool. And this one's sort of interesting. It has the remains of it. Looks like it's a Castrol. Looks like it says Castrol 2-stroke oil maybe on it. And then it has a Union sticker too. It says Union Made. United Steel Workers of America, which is interesting because these are made in Canada, but maybe they represented up in Canada too. So yeah, so that's the first two models that I have. So here's the HC, guys. I had it running and everything was good, and then the clutch froze up on it. So then I had to stop and fix that. And then something in the carburetor went gunny bag and it started leaking gas everywhere. So I'm not gonna kill myself trying to get this thing running, but here's a good look at her. So yeah, I need to take the carburetor off. I never actually did anything with the carburetor since I've had this saw, believe it or not. So yeah, I'm sure it needs a kit. So anyways, there's the HC. Good old saw. They had to run 3 shifts at the factory because this thing was so popular. And then after that, they came out with the Pioneer RA, which is this guy. Let's move these down a little bit. And the RA is what really caught my attention because it's just so cool. It's like an old hot rod. Look at that thing. It's got the top that comes off, and the earlier ones had a Pioneer emblem that was chrome and went on here, but they're hard to find. And so I actually found this is a Pioneer emblem off of it's actually off of a Pioneer station wagon, like a Plymouth Pioneer, I believe. And I thought, what the heck? I got that and put it on there. It looks pretty cool. And then these ones, the top comes off, the hood comes off. So you just undo that clip and you take the hood off. And then it's got the regular old air cleaner like an old hot rod. And it's got like these air cleaners are sort of interesting. It's like steel screen on the outside, and then it's like a brass, really fine like brass screen, a few layers of it in between. That's pretty cool. It's just neat, all the different textures and colors of metal, and that's what I love about these old chainsaws. And then the other thing that I thought was cool on these Pioneers, these don't have it, but they started putting these sediment bowls in them, the glass sediment bowls. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome, I think. And see, when you want to clean it out, you just unscrew the clamp, and then so you can take the glass bowl out, clean your sediment bowl out, and then you just put her back in there, and then you just clamp it back down. That's cool when it's running. You can see the gas percolating in there. I'll get this guy fired up for you so you can see it. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I really love these. These are one of my favorites. And then see, it has this screen or this shield that directs the air. You got to have this for it to cool properly. So yeah, just a neat Neat old saw. They really put some thought into these, and you can tell the guy, you know, they actually cared about aesthetics and what it looked like too. Look at the muffler. Look at the muffler on these things. Cast aluminum dual port muffler. And these have 404 chain also. But yeah, just super cool. And Pioneer had their own casting foundry. They cast all their own stuff, sand casted everything in-house. Here's another RA that I was playing around with, sort of going with the hot rod theme on this one again. put a cooler looking air filter on it, and put this green handle, which is actually off of a 620. And yeah, they have the distinctive looking bucking spike on them. So that's the 100cc RAs. These guys are 100 cc's, and these were a very popular saw back in the day. And these were made from 56 to 57, I believe. Let me check my notes. 56 to 58. Okay. So then after that, so this is when IEL was based in Vancouver, Canada. You'll see that, you know, it even says on their badging. And then in 56, I think, 56, 57, OMC bought them out. And then they basically closed the plant in Vancouver and moved everything to their OMC outboard motor plant in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Here's a little side note, guys. When OMC bought out Pioneer, they closed the plant in Vancouver and moved everything to Peterborough, Ontario. And so a lot of the engineers and designers that were in Vancouver, you know, they didn't want to move to Ontario and uproot their families and all that. But anyways, so there was a lot of chainsaw people that were out of a job, basically. And Canadian was just sort of starting out. And so they got all these guys from IEL there, and they designed this new modern chainsaw. And so that's the 270 and these 187s. And, you know, they had their own lineup. So the Canadian chainsaw company sort of blew up and sprung up because of the move of the plant to Peterborough, Ontario. So that was sort of interesting. And then that's when they came up with this next line, the Pioneer 620 and the 600 series. And so these ones were die cast aluminum, which is it's a thinner casting and smoother. You can tell it's die cast because they're really thin and lighter. And so they went with the die cast design and were, you know, making them lighter. But this is basically, this is like 100, and it says it's 103 cc's in the manual. And so this is sort of like the updated version of the RA, the 620. Look at that bad boy. And it has the glass sediment bowl as well. And these things have cool, they all have the cool caps too. See, this one has the, they went with this tree, this evergreen tree logo. Once they moved to the 600 series. Yeah, see, these gas caps still had the IEL logo on them. See, it has the IEL, and they made a black version of it. And then they also have one that has a yellow, that's black and yellow, like this one. So that's cool. That's interesting. So yeah, so the 620, this one isn't running. I got this as a non-running saw, and I haven't got it running yet. But look at the muffler on these things. Look at that thing. It's like a work of art. Isn't that so cool? They really put a lot of thought into the design of these things. Look at that, see? Cool looking muffler on these. So yeah, I want to get this one running. So there's that. And then the next one I have in line is this 3071. See, they started getting into more of a compact design. And this one I have not got running yet, but it's the 3071. So the 620 was made from 1960 to 62. And then after that, they started sort of going with the more compact design. I mean, there's a lot of models in between all this. This is just what I have in my collection. And so the 3071 is 65 cc's, and it was made from 72 to 73. And this one's cool. It's got the full wrap on it. I haven't got this one running yet either, but this will be a cool one. Andrew at Butler Outdoors Canada sent me a starter for it because I was missing a starter. So yeah, made in Peterborough, Canada. And then it's interesting, it says USA, Galesburg, Illinois. Well, and that was the other thing. The 620 was interesting because it says the same thing. This one's made in Waukegan, Illinois. Outboard Marine Corporation. So yeah, I'm not sure if did they make them in Canada or what? Or maybe they made them in the US a little bit too. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. Then they came out with the P series, which is a really cool saw. Look at that bad boy. Look at the design of that. Really sleek and compact. And I love the mufflers on these. They have this cool outlet that comes out, and then some of the models had a double barrel muffler coming out of them. See, like this one has the cool shotgun looking thing coming out the bottom. Transistorized ignition. Ooh, electronic. And so yeah. Oh, this one's missing a plug wire. That's not cool. But anyways, this is my P40 that I got from Christina's grandpa. And he worked for the Forest Service, so he had a lot of old saws and axes and stuff that he gave me. And I always remember when he gave me the saw, you know, because he would know. He was like, boy, that was a fast cutter. The P40, he said that was a fast cutting saw. And so yeah, this is when they sort of evolved into the more compact, fast cutting. This P40 is, I think it's 66 cc's. Let me see. I'm terrible at remembering my numbers. Yeah, 66 cc's. And they had them, you know, they had the P series. They had a lot of these. They had the P38, the P40, the P50, and the P50 was I think it's 80 cc's, 88 cc's, and then they had a P60, which was like almost 100 cc saw. But yeah, they're just a really cool platform. Collection was this one that I got with a bunch of other saws, and this is actually a saw that Andrew Butler is really excited about because you know, he's the pioneer man. And you know, when I first saw this, I didn't instantly recognize it, and then I saw the starter cover over here and I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's a Pioneer saw. Oops. So yeah, see, it's a concrete saw. It's called a Quickie, made by, I'm not sure, Target or Quickie, but anyways, this thing was basically a basket case in a box. So I want to get that running, and we gonna give that to Andrew. He wants this bad boy for his collection. So, but yeah, that's sort of interesting. The concrete saw version's got little wheels on the front. You can roll it around, and you know, guys, I thought about converting it back into a chainsaw, but it's quite a process because it's not what you think it is. It's the case and everything doesn't have the provisions for the oiler or the oiling system, and so you basically have to change the case and everything. And so at that point, I mean, you might as well just find an actual chainsaw. But it's pretty cool that it's the P50 version of a concrete saw. I wanted to show you guys this one. Look at this bad boy. Isn't that an awesome saw? The JB. That was like their crown jewel, I guess. Boy, that'd be awesome to have that. I think it was like 103 cc's or 110, something like that. Crazy. That'd be awesome to find one of those. But anyways, that's our video for the week, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. And I've got other videos on my channel of some of these IEL Pioneer chainsaws, so if you want to check that out, feel free. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.